I love storytelling as a role player that I've been for way too many years, and I love systems that allow you to create stories, and that is what the Oracle Story Generator is meant to do. I have received this after being successfully funded in Kickstarter in 2021. Has this been worth the amount of money that I had to back to get my hands on it? I'm about to show you. Welcome to the GMS Magazine RPG unboxing videos. The Oracle Story Generator claims to have over 1 billion combinations for any fantasy role-playing game. That is quite a bold claim. I backed this to the tune of $70, which, considering the size of the box and the fact that it comes with 5 decks inside, it doesn't sound too bad to me, I have to say. So I am not displeased thus far. But are the insides going to be worth it? Well, let's go and take a look, shall we? The back of the box is austere, I have to say, but very clear as to what it does. Is not meant to be doing anything else. I don't know what else it could be showing, so no complaints from me about endless inspiration. Generate awesome stories for your role-playing games with the Oracle Story Generator. Simply, well, blah blah blah. This box set contains 5 uniquely themed 60-card decks, including contracts and bounties, epic adventures, political intrigue, relics and artifacts, and simple side quests. Over 250 million possible combinations. That, yes, it is a very, very bold claim indeed. And I'm sure that technically it must be right, but I don't know if all of them. Well, wait a second, then over 1 billion in the front, each over 250 million. Oh, each deck. Fine, now I get it. I thought for a second in there, those are 2 very different amounts. So what's inside? The cover is beautiful, I have to say. This is, and I know that I have to say, an awful lot of times my husband is rolling his eyes as I speak. But it is very, very nice indeed. It's very oracly, which is beautiful. No mention of the authors, by the way. That's a shame. The sides, again, very austere. And then we get a manual, pretty heavy actually. Instructions and pre-generated stories. Nice. Nice table of contents, okay. We have in total 28 pages, and we get the credits here. So author J.V.C. Parry, Chris Haskins, director Ralph, Karen, Andrew, Chris, and Laura. Okay. So there's an awful lot of words in here, which is fair enough indeed, with clear instructions, using the storyteller guide. 3-act structure. Oh my god, 3 acts again. Can we ask a favor? Can we try to at least mask and move away and reframe the 3 acts a little bit? Because yeah, I know beginning, middle and end, I get that, but damn, can we be a little bit more sophisticated? I mean, are you including anything else other than that? Learn your scales, adventure hooks. No, this is a bit too basic. Where is the hero's journey? Where is, the Asian story structure that you can use as well, which is, by the way, quite different from the hero's journey? Why not going a little bit deeper into how to structure adventures rather than just, the 3-act structure? Too simple. I need more. I want more from this. And yes, I like that you give me learn your scales 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow, that's a lot. 13, 14. Okay, you're giving me an awful lot of adventures already created, but why are you doing this? I don't understand. Why are you giving me so many adventures instead of giving me a little bit more in-depth essays about how to create adventures? I know that that's what I'm going to be able to do with these decks of cards, but if I'm going to be able to make them, what's the point of having them? Just give me a book of adventures. I would have preferred to see more in-depth techniques to generate story arcs, you know, one-shots versus adventure or long adventures, adventures versus campaigns, the hero's journey versus blah, 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 reframing the hero's journey. I think there is a book I need to write about this. Inside, very cool insert. I like it a lot, and there's still spacing here for more cards or for making your own deck or what have you. But very nice insert. The decks are huge. Very, very big decks. Let's get on with opening the first one that I have in my hand, which is this one. Let me zoom inside very quickly like that, so we can see the cards and see if I can open these. Have you done this on purpose? No, you've done very well. Thank you. Thank you for making it very easy for me to open this. And I love this vacuum that forms. It's so satisfying. So we have different back to this deck and absolutely beautiful illustrations. Very, very cool. Four of them to be precise. Let me open the zoom a little bit more so I can show all of them. In one go. That looks very cool. So this is the deck on contracts and bounties, and we have development, subject, action, and actor. So if we look at development, let me bring this close again. The letter is quite small. Considering how much space you have in here, I wish you had done this a little bit bigger and easier to read. So, but the subject is protected by magic. The subject is worded in some magical way that makes it harder for the contract or bounty to be fulfilled. The magic might have been placed upon them by another, or they may have cast it themselves. We have 4 different options: non-detection, illusory disguise, teleportation, and enchantment. For non-detection, the subject is incredibly stealthy and cannot be... Okay, so let's take a look at the subject. An ooze. Gelatinous creature that rarely have fixed shape. Oozes are mostly subterranean, dwelling in caves and dungeons and feeding on refuse, carrion, or unlucky adventurers. Grey, ochre, gelatinous cube. So let's say that this grey ooze is non-detectable. And creatures that capture and devour their prey by distinguishing themselves as puddles of oil, cobblestone, shadows, or the like. So, okay, so there's a very clear link between this card and this card. Contracts and bounties action will hire you to destroy the property of what? Oh, the actor. A faction. Factions can range from merchant guilds to pirate fleets, from cobblers' alliance to military units. They are groups of individuals. So the actor wishes something that belongs to the subject So which is something that belongs to the ooze. So let's assume that the ooze is sentient. To be destroyed. Oh, like what? Lair, wealth. The subject lair. So, okay, so a faction will hire you to destroy the property of an ooze, but the subject is protected by magic. Okay. There you go. We have created a tiny little story arc with just drawing 4 cards. That is pretty excellent. That I am liking. And you have plenty of choices. 4 choices per card should be more than enough. The flavor is actually good. So that is one of the decks. Let's put them all in the same order because why not? Let's take another deck. And this is Epic Adventures Development. Let's open this as well because I'm guessing that this is going to have different backs. Okay, that's me. Eventually I'm going to open this somehow, even if it is the hard way. Yes, I know if you're seeing some little wounds in my hands, that is because it's bitterly cold in here and my hands get very cracked when they're very cold, and I know that I should be wearing gloves, but it's very difficult to walk my dog when I do. So oh my goodness. And we have once more development. And we have a number of cards. Intent. Subject. Action. And actor. So we have 5 instead of 4 that we got in the previous deck. Okay, so let's see what happens if we draw a card of each. So, actor. An undead will bribe a terrible foe because of a curse, but they are protected by a legion. Again, that works. So we're working on a bot kind of scenario here. And with this, we get the previous deck. So since I'm at it, I just want to check this. We get the bot as well. A leader will hire you to attack an aberration out of necessity, but the subject is protected by a higher power. 2 bots already. Now, the thing with story creation is that the bot is very commonly used, as in incredibly commonly used. You're going to do this, but you're going to do this, but you're going to do this, but this is going to happen, but. And the problem with that is that when you create stories that way, they kind of become repetitive and boring when there are other prepositions that you could use, like and, or and then, or therefore. And instead of asking why, you can ask, but what for? So asking but all the time, yeah, the combinations might be endless, but the formula is always going to be the same. And it doesn't matter how many combinations you have of a story. If the formula is applied exactly the same thing, eventually they are all going to be very repetitive. So this is something that you need to be very, very aware of. And I don't know if these decks are actually covering very well. Let's try with another deck. This time is Political Intrigue. So we have a priest will coerce a peer to forge a new alliance, and I bet that the next one is going to be but their action costs them everything. So can you see how there is a star that needs something and gets you to do it, and then something goes awry. Something works in a different manner. Let's try another one. I have to say, thus far, this is not impressing me because of this constant but. This is the Relics and Artifacts deck, and we have an Explorer, Will Steal. Why always in future though? Why not have Stolen? A Religious Relic to sell to another, but the item requires a worthy user. There's always a challenge at the end, and it's always the same sort of challenge. And last deck, simple side quests development. Okay, let's take a look at this. See if I can open it just as easily, maybe not. Let's try here. And here. So, I must admit though that the illustrations in these decks are absolutely gorgeous. And the fact that they are differentiating each topic or each section of the decks with an illustration is actually very good. I like that, and the material is good. It's a shame they're not laminated, but so be it. So, an innkeeper needs to find, present, I like it better, needs to clear, many needs. A goblin camp, poor goblins. To recover stolen goods, but time is running out. But. I am sorry, but of course I need to take a deeper look at this and see how they play. I reckon to generate short adventures, one-offs, or encounters in particular, short adventures, this is going to be very, very good indeed. But to generate campaigns, I don't see it because it's too formulaic. It's too but something happens. But if instead of having but, they've used, random cards that you could use with and or, that sort of thing, you being a little bit more Boolean about story crafting, it would have been an awful lot better, considering that I have a number of tools that do something similar to this, even though I have to say that the sheer amount of this is very, very impressive. And I reckon that if we try to change, to swap cards, an innkeeper will recover to cover, or will recover a member of the judicial system to make amends. To become a ruler. You can add them out of necessity, but the subject takes measures to protect themselves. Yeah, you can make them more and more complex, and you can, create an awful lot. The potential is indeed there, but I reckon that unless you start getting rid of that bot at the beginning of those decks and begin to replace them with different prepositions, this is going to be, for short adventures, a very, very good tool, very quick to use. But I reckon I have other products out there that can do the same thing with more variation in the formula of the structure of the story, and be more effective at creating something a little bit long term. How I could mix both, I don't know, but I will find out. So thus far, I'm sorry to say that beautiful, absolutely beautiful as this is got a lukewarm reception from me. Not impressed. I was expecting something a little bit more technical than this, a little bit more in depth, and it hasn't given it to me.